The Samma flange is connected to the gizmo, and the gizmo's connected to the dealy bob, and the dealy bob is no longer connected to the thingamajig.
Hey, what's up guys, Sicken here. We're doing another guide. Today is Gazlowe. I've never played this hero, so we got Validus here to help us out and tell us how to play right.
Residential US
Yeah.
Gazlowe expert.
Gazlowe expert. Alright. So, we're going to go over his talents real quick. We have Rocket Turret. What does this do?
Okay, so his first spell, the turret, you simply just put down a turret, and it leaves a little ring on the ground, and anything that steps into that ring, the turret will shoot. It shoots things that are closer to it. You can't control what it shoots other than that. So you simply just have to set them up in smart spots.
Okay, cool. That sounds pretty easy. Then we got Death Laser. What's that do?
Death Laser is a skill shot that forces Gazlowe to sit there charging it up, and as it charges up, I'm sure Sicken will show it right now, the telegraph changes. Based on the size of the telegraph, the longer it charges, the radius gets bigger and the damage increases. That's basically it. There's a couple talents that change its functionality a little bit, but you want it to charge longer if possible.
Okay, cool. My turret's just expired here, and it popped these two little bolts on the ground. Can you explain those real quick?
Yeah, so his trait is Salvager. When his turrets die, or enemy buildings die, they drop what's called scrap. Those are the little bolts on the ground. When you pick them back up, they give you a little bit of mana back, and they give you a buff called Salvager that lasts 2 seconds, I believe, and every second you have the buff, it takes 3 seconds off of one of your or all of your cooldowns. So basically, every time you pick up scrap, you get 6 seconds off your cooldowns.
Okay, that's really cool.
And you can activate the spell to break down one of your own turrets.
So, like, okay, so if I use Death Laser, and let's let it go off here, and then I pick up these bolts, is it going to take time off Death Laser?
Yes.
Cool. Death Laser is, since there's nothing going on in this try mode, Death Laser doesn't have a cooldown, so that didn't work. Okay, so Explodium Charge, that sounds badass. What's that do?
So that simply just puts a bomb on the ground, and after 5 seconds it explodes. Anyone in the radius takes damage and gets stunned. Stunned for 2 seconds. It's one of the longer stuns in the game.
Yeah, that's cool. I like the little counter on it. That's fun. Okay, so that's the abilities. Can you go over Salvager? What was that again?
So those are the little scraps on the ground. Basically, you can activate it. You've got an extra button. Some people don't. Some people are passives. You can just break down your own turrets, essentially, in case you really need to move your turrets and get your cooldowns back. Also, in a pinch, you can break down a turret that you can simply use turrets to get cooldowns back, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
If, like, you really need another Explodium Charge during a fight, you can break down a turret, eat the scrap, and drop down another charge.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. That's an interesting mechanic. Okay, so let's go over the talents then real quick.
Do you want to read through them, or should I?
You can. I'll just mouse over what you do.
Alright, so level 1, he's got Regen Master. It's pretty basic. Every 3 Regen Globes you gather, little globes the wizard drop in the lane in case you're new to the game. They're going to give you a stack of a buff called Regen Master. Each stack gives you plus 4 health per second. Not a very great talent in my opinion. Requires you to lane too much. I don't ever really pick this up on any hero I play. Secondly, there's Demolitionist, which recently actually got nerfed in a patch maybe 3-4 days ago during maintenance, as of filming. And it used to be 2 ammo. Your basic attacks would destroy 2 ammo, and you would deal 10% additional damage with your auto attacks. Now it's only 1 ammo. I don't really pick this because Gazlowe's not really supposed to auto attack very much. I feel like it gets you too out of position if you walk up to an enemy wall and you're punching things. Too many heroes in the game can stun you, a Diablo can pull you over the wall, and you'll just be flat out dead.
Yeah, that would be no fun.
Besides, he only does about as much damage as each one of his turrets. He's really not an auto-attack hero. Okay. Scrap-O-Matic Smelter makes your scrap give you a little bit more mana back. that is a good talent. I'm gonna kind of, my commentary with that and break it down go hand in hand. I don't really pick them because I enjoy extra TNT. I'll explain why, but you don't really need the extra mana in my opinion because Moonwells are around. It already gives you mana back. Yeah, it doubles the mana you give it. Scrap-O-Matic Smelter doubles it. It makes it 30 to 60.
Oh.
It makes turrets free because turrets only take 70 mana. And you'll regen that 10 in a couple seconds.
Yeah.
I don't think mana's all that necessary. It doesn't give him more bang for his buck on his abilities. Why I don't like it. Same reason with Break It Down. I used to pick Break It Down before they put extra TNT in the game, but I think it's better because Scrap does affect the cooldown of his ult, so having your spells up all the time is never a bad thing. But extra TNT, I believe, is the best. Makes it so that for every enemy your charge hits, it does 10% more damage. So if there's 5 people in the radius when the bomb blows up, it'll do 50% more damage. That's a lot, considering it counts every target inside the bomb radius.
And now, does that even count like creeps?
Yes.
That's a lot
It
of
even
damage.
counts. Yeah, it counts zombies from zombie block.
Wow.
It'll count Zagara's creep spawns. It'll count it'll count lanes. It'll count mercs when you're fighting mercs in the jungle.
That's a lot of damage, guys. So
Yeah,
sounds like
the
extra
bomb
TNT is
already
definitely
hits
what we'll
hard because it's got a 5-second build up.
take. Yeah. All right, cool. So we'll take
Choose
extra
a talent.
TNT, level 4.
Yeah, level 4, superiority makes you take only half damage from non-hero enemies. It's all right when you're fighting against mercs. Lanes don't really deal you that much damage. If you're fighting with creeps, turrets shouldn't be attacking you. I don't really like superiority on any hero. I don't think it's that great of a talent. Minion Killer is what I pick here. It actually also recently got buffed. It used to only be minions and mercenaries, and now it also includes summons from enemy heroes.
Yep.
So if there's a pesky witch doctor with his gargantuan, you can get rid of him really quickly. Simply, if you pick Minion Killer at level 4, Gazlowe is, I believe, the only hero in the game who can solo night camps at level 4.
Okay.
And you will kill siege giant camps in a couple seconds with Minion Killer. And this just gives him push power. Lane waves with this plus extra TNT, your Explodium charge will one-shot an entire creep wave. You don't even need to place turrets when you're pushing. Reduce, reuse, recycle is good. You know, having more scrap for sitting on the lane is never bad. But I don't play him as a lane hero, and a lot of people I've seen, a lot of experienced players I've seen, don't play him as a lane hero. His niche as a specialist is to take merc camps and push with those merc camps.
Yep. Cool.
And organize your team to push with those merc camps. So the extra scrap's nice. I don't think it competes with being able to kill mercs or knights at level 4. Clockwork Steam Fists is not that great of a talent. As I said, you're not really going to want to be spending time punching things. You know, getting your turrets back longer. I'm someone who breaks down his own turrets very often. If the fight's moving at all, I'll break down my turrets, grab the cooldown reduction, and keep going. So the duration doesn't really matter. They already last for 30 seconds. An extra couple seconds is not going to be that big of a deal.
Okay.
Promote's still just not that great of a talent. They've tried to buff it a couple times. We're still in alpha, obviously, so it might be better in the future. Cooldown's too long. It makes a lane minion big and strong, but it's not that big of a deal when you compare that to getting to night camps and being able to kill creep camps instantly almost.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So we'll take Minion Killer. Alright, we got level 7 now.
Alright, there's Rocket Turret XL is the first one. Makes your turrets hit 2 extra additional targets for 50% damage. Essentially your turrets cleave, they spray damage. This is an alright talent. This is pretty good considering later we're gonna grab more talents for rockets, or for rocket turrets. It's alright for team fighting. It makes you a bigger presence in a team fight. Considering his turrets can do a lot of damage if they're ignored, and a lot of people will just brush them aside and not do that much damage, but they do. They do a lot of damage to heroes too.
Yeah.
I don't pick it though. I pick Mercenary Lord, the second one. Okay, as I said, this explains itself. If you're gonna be playing where you're grabbing mercs, having your siege giants do 50% more damage and your knights do 50% more health,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous. It's 50%.
Yeah, that's a lot.
As Gazlowe, especially if you grab Mercenary Lord, the number one thing is you need to make sure your team realizes what Gazlowe's niche is. That Gazlowe is so strong at taking mercenary camps. And if you don't normally play Gazlowe and you're watching this video, if there's a Gazlowe on your team, let him do his job. If he's not doing his job, inform him. Don't be a dick. Be like, hey, you're way better at mercs than everyone else. Go do him. Especially with Mercenary Lord, because if all he has to do is be in the circle, means he should go cap him.
Right.
Ignored upgraded giants and knights, and Sickend, even though he hasn't played the hero, can attest to this, will kill forts surprisingly quickly.
Oh, absolutely. If you have someone get knights and you just ignore them, you're gonna lose that lane pretty quick. Like before you realize it, you're gonna lose that lane. That's just if a witch doctor or something takes them. That's not somebody that has mercenary lord. Siege giants with 50% extra attack power is gonna be such a strong push, especially if ignored. You know, they're gonna want to take them out quick. So that's definitely a good thing. That means don't steal camps from Gazlowe, because you want that 50%. You want to hope they ignore it, even if it's just for 5-10 seconds of them throwing big rocks at buildings. Like that's pretty huge.
Yep. Alright, and then there's the next couple on this tree. Not that big of a deal, and we'll go through them just cause. One of them makes it so your rocket turret slows. That's alright, but if I was going to go for a talent on this tree for the rockets, as I said, I would go for the one that made them do extra damage. Slow won't do all of that much in a team fight. Having each of your turrets spray and hit multiple targets is a much bigger deal. First Aid recently got buffed. I don't think it'll really save Gazlowe in times that he needs to be saved. I don't think it doesn't really fit into his niche either. It's a survivability talent.
It's just a heal over time, correct?
Yeah, it's just 35% of your health over 6 seconds, but it's a minute cooldown.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I'd be taking that one. What about Mule?
Yeah, Mule can be alright, especially against certain heroes. If they've got like a Murky or something. I haven't tried this. I've been told Mule can completely counteract Murky. If the other team is a Murky, it's worth a shot. I'll try it next time I see one and I'm playing him. But honestly, giving up Mercenary Lord, like Mercenary Lord is one of my favorite reasons to play Gazlowe. I feel like, especially since it's a talent only he gets right now, it's so strong. It really is. Especially considering your job, a majority of the time, unless it's a big team fight that your team needs you, you should be out grabbing mercs. And just making them better.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll take Merc Lords here. We'll go to our alts. Let's talk about our alts here. These are what everybody wants to know about. These are the fun abilities that everybody can't wait for.
Yeah, and in before Validus rage about RoboGoblin. Yeah, considering I play Gazlowe so much, it makes me rage a little bit when I see Gazlows that pick RoboGoblin. I've always asked them to. I've always not been super dicky about it, but I'm like, hey, why do you guys pick RoboGoblin? And they're like, oh, it ups my push power. Sometimes they're a little meaner than that.
Sometimes he says in a MOBA.
Yeah. The problem is, Gazlowe doesn't really need push power, considering you're going to be... In this game, you should never vanilla push, and by vanilla push, I mean you shouldn't just be pushing with lane creeps. You should be pushing with mercs. You should be pushing with the Dragon Knight. You should be pushing with your Grave Golem. You're never going to be in a position where your team needs that much more push power compared to what you already have. You can already drop an extra TNT charge on things, and if you aim those right, so you can usually aim them next to forts that have a creep wave next to it. Like if you stand next to the fort and you're attacking the fort and the creeps walk up to start punching you, you can usually take them long enough that they all stand in your explodium charge and have extra TNT go off and deal double damage to the building.
Okay.
So RoboGoblin just doesn't really add enough. A lot of people also say they like to grab it because you need it to solo the Grave Golem on maps like Blackheart. But you don't, because at level 13 we're gonna grab a talent that'll help with that, and I'll go into that in a bit.
Okay, so we take Gravo Bomb.
Yeah,
what
Gravo
does Gravo Bomb do?
Gravo Bomb puts down. It's similar to your Explodium charge. It'll put down a bomb that will put up this big like stasis field that will suck everyone in towards it. If you played Dota, it's like an instantaneous Enigma black hole. It causes a black hole that just sucks everyone in. Does damage. It doesn't itself stun, but Gazlowe's got a combo. You may or may not realize. If you drop an Explodium charge and then suck everybody onto it, especially with extra TNT, it does a ton of damage, stuns for 2 seconds. You know, I'm not exaggerating here when it can outright win team fights if you do it right, or if the other team does it wrong and they don't run from it. Because some people, I guess, see it and don't think it's that big of a threat, but it really is. It can do a lot of damage.
That sounds to me like a Wombo combo.
Yeah, Gazlowe is perfect for Wombo combo teams. It's really nasty if you've got a Zeratul on your team, even if he doesn't pick Stasis Prison. If he's just ready to cleave the moment everyone gets sucked in. If you've got, it's perfect if you've got a Diablo on your team and he apocalypses right as you suck everybody in.
Yeah.
You can get entire teams stunned for like 4 seconds if you're coordinated. If you're playing solo queue, Gazlowe's still good, but his power does go up exponentially with organization. So even if you're in a solo queue, try and be organized with your team.
Cool. So we take Gravo Bomb. What about our level 13 talents?
Alright, so at level 13, there's Burning Rage. Same thing as the Tyrael video we put out, or are going to put out. It really doesn't do that much damage. On every hero, it's always the same numbers. He doesn't need the push power. He's already a specialist. He's already got spells that are perfect for clearing out lanes and killing creeps and killing grave golems and dragon knights, and Burning Rage won't deal enough damage to heroes to make it matter.
Okay, what about Quick Release Charge?
Quick Release Charge is the one I pick. Very basic. You get a second charge of of the bomb. The tooltip's the tooltip's a little wrong. Makes it sound as if you have to cast them twice in succession. Pretty much, you have 2 charges of it, so you can cast it, and then you will have another one. But it will also, the other charge will be cooling down.
Okay, guys, this is Gravity Bomb size, and then we're gonna take a miniature black hole, and you can see that the size is quite a bit bigger.
Yeah, it's gigantic, and it makes your wombo combo that much easier to hit, that much more damage on your wombo combo. Like I said before, I think I've seen Gravo Bomb hit for 1,000, and then each of those bombs hit for 1,000 if you can hit their entire team, and yeah, you will almost flat out kill their team. Plus, miniature black hole and black hole in general, they really shine with heroes like Nova grabbing Precision Strike or Diablo's Apocalypse. I honestly think unless Gazlowe takes a nerf, which may not happen, there have been a couple patches where he hasn't really been touched all that much. Hell, he almost got buffed with extra TNT. I think he got buffed. I don't think he needed one either. I think you'll see him on every competitive team. And so, getting good at Gazlowe, I think he's a great specialist. I think that he'll be one of the top ones people play. I think he fits his niche very well. He does his job very well. But he can also show up with team fights, something that a hero like Murky isn't all that great at. Yeah, he was before. They changed his ult a little bit.
Okay.
So yeah, I think he's one of my favorites. I think he is my favorite specialist right now.
Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna try to hit this wombo combo here on these ults or NPCs or whatever. Did quite a bit of damage there to Arthas without really trying. All that was happening was auto attacks from Malfurion and then my wombo combo. So I'm gonna try the laser beams here. So that's the death laser. got any like little tips for like playing him or like?
Yeah. So I have 3 tips so far that I can think of off the top of my head.
Okay.
I've kind of touched on them, but here we'll do a little rundown. He can do giants at level 1 and knights at level 4. If you're on a map that you have the flexibility that you don't need to be on a lane, you should definitely do giants at level 1. Unless there's like a big ass team fight happening that your team needs you. That's the number 1 tip and trick, is that you should be doing giants at 1 and knights at 4, unless your team needs you to be in a team fight. That's what you gotta balance with Gazlowe to become really good at this hero, is you really need to balance being able to show up to team fights enough that your team isn't 4v5ing, and getting mercs and having them push and be a threat, and pushing with them.
Yeah.
And make sure your team knows when mercs are going to be popping, when you're running to go do knights, because merc lorded knights, plus some of the maps you can get, like on Dragon Shrine, you can get 4 to 6 upgraded giants, and if you let your team know that that's going to be going on bottom and they all show up, those are the pushes that kill forts, and those are the pushes that other teams struggle to deal with. So it's all about organization, with most specialists, but Gazlowe especially.
Cool.
Second tips and trip is the wombo combo. You want to place your mine first, let it tick maybe a second or 2, and then grab bomb. But you also want to grab bomb before the other people are running out of your explodium charge. You want to make sure that grab bomb will pull them on. Prime targets for this are assassins and supports. Obviously, assassins are so squishy they can't really take that big damage from the wombo combo. And supports, team fights are won from controlling supports, and if you can hit like a Malfurion with a 2-second stun from your explodium charge and get pulled in on that, that's the sort of stuff that gets Malfurion dead, and with a Malfurion dead, their team quickly falls apart. Same with killing a Lili or something. Assassins and supports, I think, are by far the biggest targets. Other specialists, they're squishy too, but I honestly think that assassins and supports are the ones you really want to aim your wombo combo at. Diablo won't really shrug it off. It's still 2,000 to 3,000 damage on him at the end of the game, but that'll half kill him. It won't kill him if you get it absolutely perfect. I'm not trying to say Gazlowe's OP or anything, and he should be in every fucking game. It does take a lot of practice to hit with both charges and the grab bomb.
If you guys want to see some of the wombo combos, also on the channel, we have the what the fuck Gazlowe moments, so you can check out those videos.
My third tip and trick is to always place your turrets before engagements happen if it's possible. Similar to a hero like Sergeant Hammer, who has to set up before a fight, otherwise you're just going to be out of position and get screwed on by someone like Zeratul.
Yeah.
You have the ability to make team fights incredibly painful over over set positions like Dragon Shrines and curses. You should be playing objectives if you're not at mercs. Especially if you got turret sword. If you set up 4 turrets, maybe 5 near a tribute, the other team's gonna have trouble getting through that. It won't kill them, but it'll pepper them up a little bit before they show up. And if the longer they stick around, the more damage your turrets are doing. So you want to always get to tributes and stuff before the other team will. If you don't really have anything to do, and the other lanes don't really need you on a map like Cursed Hollow especially because it's the biggest map right now, it's 3 lanes, try and hang out in the mid so that you can show up as soon as they say the tribute spawning, you can show up and you start placing those turrets.
Yep.
Same with merc camps. If someone shows up to kill you at a merc camp, someone like a Zeratul, sometimes you can fight him off simply by making him stand in the extra TNT explodium charge along with some of the mercs. Remember, the more targets it hits, the more it hits for. Yeah, like Sicken said, we've got a couple videos of moments that show that if you're either fighting a Gazlowe, if you are Gazlowe, he can not necessarily kill. Some of those videos we have him killing most of them, but you can scare people off at least. And a Gazlowe with 2 to 4 turrets down, can beat a melee assassin, scare off someone like Uriel. Yeah, and so try not to let people push you around.
Yeah.
Killing
Cool.
spree.
So is that it?
Yeah, I can't really think of anything else off the top of my head.
Awesome. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe. Follow me at Twitch at twitch.tv/sickened. You can follow me on Twitter at sickplays, and you can also follow Validus at val_gaming. We'll see you guys next time.
Oh, what's this button do again? Oh, right. I gotta remember not to mess with that shiny, sparkly, blinky red button.